Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the All-American Savage Show podcast. I am your host, John Burke, with my beautiful heterosexual bearded Jewish life partner, Josh, over there operating those controls like a NASA space shuttle guy, pretending to be like he's actually faking a moon landing over there.
We didn't go to the moon. There's no way.
Oh, my God. Yeah. It's too early. It's too early for this. We're not doing this. We're not doing this.
We don't have to.
The moon landing wasn't real. Okay, we're not going to do it. We're not going to do it. Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in wherever you're watching from. We're coming to you on a Wednesday afternoon here in Richardson, Texas from the Shell Shock CBD HQ. And as you know, this episode is brought to you by shellshockcbd.com. We have the 38% off sale going live tonight at 12 p.m. CST. So if you've ever been interested in trying out Shell Shock products, from Sleepy Time gummies to our THC-based products that will get you really high, you can get 30% off of those selected items on shellshockcbd.com starting tonight at midnight. The 38% off birthday sale will run for 24 hours. So it's your chance. If you've ever been interested in trying out some of our product, well, now you have a really good reason to. It's going to be very affordable. For 24 hours, you can get 38% off. Make sure you sign up for the email and the SMS list on the website to be notified when the sale kicks off, just in case you don't forget, or so you don't remember. In case you don't, oh, fuck me, this is just not going to be a good day.
Just as a good reminder.
It's just as a good
There you go.
Oh, my God. There's just so much going on in the world. Just so much going down. So... yeah, we all know what this is about. Uvalde, Texas, the school shooting. And, you know, first, I do want to say it sucks. And I know that's just the worst way to describe it, but it's just gut-wrenching. And I'm not trying to make comparisons here in regards to like the Buffalo shooting and things like that, but these were elementary school kids. These were children.
Most innocent.
I cannot wrap my head around the idea of this shooter running into this elementary school, who apparently was being chased by the cops, from what we are gathering so far. And there's a lot of information still coming out. But what we do know is that apparently this school shooter, or this person at the time, was running from the police and ran to the elementary school, barricaded himself into a classroom, and murdered. And the numbers are changing. Right now, I'm seeing, originally it was 14, then it jumped up to 19, now it's 21, 22. Children, just massacred them. Now, to be fair, I think we should cover this the exact same way the media covered. This was a trans person. Now, people are out there like trying to blame this all on the trans community. I feel like that's very disingenuous and intellectually dishonest. Now, look, I'm not a fan of transgenderism. I think it is a mental disability, but I cannot sit there and blame the entire trans community for this unfolding, just like we cannot blame all white people for the Buffalo shooter. It's just, that's lazy thinking. Now, again, we get angry, we get upset, and I realize that because these are innocent lives that have been snuffed out by a coward whom I hope is burning in the ninth circle of hell with Satan himself. But to be fair, as much as I just don't agree with transgenderism, it's not right to blame the trans community for this. Now, it does lead to some other questions or some conversations that should be had, but we should focus primarily on not succumbing to lazy groupthink, where I feel like a lot of people are going to go that route. And I was kind of iffy on even talking about this topic because, the truth be told, aside from the sadness of what those parents must be going through, I'm tired of the dog and pony show. It's like, as soon as something like this happens, you know what the left is going to say, you know what the right is going to say. I mean, you know what I'm going to say. It's like, I'm tired of doing this routine over and over. And I do want to get into it today because I feel like there's some things that do need to be discussed, because apparently Democrats still just don't get it. You just don't get it. Now, I've seen people out there, there's so much ignorance. There is so much ignorance. I mean, it started off today with the Parkland school shooting. The survivor, I forget what her name is. Oh my God, this girl she's unhinged. What's her name? I tweeted it out. The Gonzalez chick. Her name is now on Instagram or Twitter. Call me X. Okay. She was one of the Parkland school shooting survivors. She's one that shaved her head, and she responds to Greg Abbott's tweet. And again, she's of age. And she says, "Hey, Greg, why don't you do us all a favor and fucking die?" I'm just glad you're showing your true colors because, sweetheart, trust me, the feeling is mutual towards you types. I feel nothing for you. You stand on the bodies of dead children and classmates to push your woke narrative of gun confiscation. And yet you sit there and you turn around and you tell Greg Abbott you hope he dies or wish he would just fucking die.
I don't know.
Greg Abbott's not responsible for this shooting.
Kind of feel pity
Yeah.
for people like that.
She's so hateful.
That filled with hate.
Get that up.
And, really taking this tragedy and
I get the passion behind it. I do, but it's like it's
that's not
unwarranted.
passion, that's ignorance.
Yeah.
I mean, the sole blame for this whole thing is the person that committed
It's the person. Yes. 100%.
tragedy.
Yeah. And, and I get how Ben Shapiro kind of started this trend of we don't say the name because that's what they want. But at the same token, it's like, no, you should show the picture. You should show the name. People should remember this piece of shit, and he should go down as a historically hated piece of shit. But I get both sides of that. But you're 100% right. It's like we continuously go around this circle of the blame game. Who's at fault? You have people like Rob Reiner out there saying the blood of these children are on the hands of the GOP.
So irresponsible.
Like what?
Completely irresponsible. Now, that type of reaction is just going to spark some other hate crime.
Which I wouldn't blame Rob for because the hate crime itself falls on the individual that pulls the trigger. But Rob Reiner and the rest of these morons are just pieces of shit.
Yeah, total.
The blood of the it's like, what do you... This is where I just don't understand their way of thinking. You say that the GOP is at fault, but the GOP are the ones that are pushing for more guns. They're pushing for armed security. They're pushing for these types of things. They've been pushing for this. In fact, you have this stupid activist out there. Oh God, what's his name? This John Kerr dude. Yeah, Steve Kerr, this NBA basketball coach. Now, here's the deal. They're entitled to their opinion, but it's like, you're a basketball coach.
Yeah.
Who the fuck are you to sit there and brief everybody on what should be? I get it. You have your opinion, but it's kind of like, dude, if this is not your arena of thought, maybe just think about sitting this one out. But this piece of shit is going out there and doing this press release at this NBA game about his NBA team. And he starts talking about what should be happening, how we should be going after guns and things like that, which is funny to me because it's the same person, Steve Kerr, who not 2 years ago, ladies and gentlemen, was protesting for pulling police out of school.
Yeah.
You were for disarming and removing protections of school and children. But now when this happens, who are you blaming now? This is what happens with Democrats. You want to continuously blame something. And when that something is removed and you get your way, like defund the police, things such as that, crime goes up. You basically made an unarmed school. And then suddenly, well, no, it's not that. It's the fact that we should now ban AR-15s, which, by the way, the facts are that this piece of shit legally purchased 2 AR-15s.
Yeah.
Now, the counter for that on the left is that Biden gets up there in his little 5-minute spiel of just standing on, just crying. It's like, dude, shut up. But he sits there and he talks about how these people, these kids, these 18-year-olds should not have access to weapons of war. Well, one thing, 18 years old, you can serve in the military. So they're not a kid. That's a full-fledged adult, and they should be tried and convicted as such. Secondly, these weapons of war are the same weapons that you utilize by putting, posturing guards outside of the Capitol when you want to put up fences. So these AR-15 platforms that are apparently weapons of war that they love using these buzzwords over. Weapons of war. Okay, well, I carried a 9mm Beretta in combat. Is that a weapon of war? I carried a knife. I carried all kinds of things. These are weapons. No, these are just weapons. What you use them for is non-consequential. It's just that's what a thing is. That's what a weapon's created for. Like this one woman comes out there, I forget what her name was, saying, pistols are meant to kill. Yes, every weapon is meant to kill. And then Biden doubles down on the, hey man, deer aren't wearing Kevlar vests for crying out loud. Dude, again, you do not hunt deer with a 223. You don't hunt deer with an AR. I mean, you can. I wouldn't suggest it. You're going to need at least a 308 or something of that caliber to drop that thing. But again, they're using these inaccurate examples because at root of this, they do not know what they are talking about. You cannot sit there and pretend to lecture or assume to lecture the rest of responsible gun owners on these objects that you clearly don't know anything about. Ghost guns, clips, things like, what are you talking about? There's no such thing as a ghost gun. There's no such thing as a clip in the capacity of which you're using it in. You don't put bullets in a clip. That's a magazine. A clip is what those like rounds are on. Like you remember the old M1 Garand, you had the stripper clip that the rounds, that's a clip. So at least identify the nomenclatures of these various different objects that you're trying to use in your buzzword narrative, your buzzword filled narrative, and at least have a basic conceptual understanding of that. It's kind of like if you're going to pass tax reform, you should understand the tax code and tax law. You really should. If you're going to start talking about banning certain things, well, here's the deal. I am sick and tired I am sick and tired, and I'm just going to get into it. I am sick and fucking tired of you out of touch rich elite politicians and celebrity figures sitting there and standing on the graves of these children that are, haven't even been buried yet. So start pushing your gun control. You don't even wait. And the thing is, you're not even pushing accurate ways of combating this. You got David Hogg out there now coming out saying, we need to start talking about universal background check. David, we've got them. They are there. Do you not know what you're talking about? Or are you just sitting there using more dead children to get your clicks and your views and shit like that? And he's so good. He's such a good. No, you don't even know what you're talking about. You're using dead children to further a narrative of which you know jack shit about. Nothing. Not a single thing. And then your Selena chick next to Greg Abbott fucking dies. Bitch, I feel the exact same way towards you. Trust me, there is no love lost in this. You people are honestly the enemy of Americans. I sincerely I do not like you. I hate you. You are pieces of shit. Sincerely. I'm tired of sitting there pretending like we have so much in common. And here's the thing. I get these other influencers trying to post stuff. Oh, we have more in common with each other. No, we don't. No, we really don't. We do not. Let's stop playing pretend about a lot of this stuff. We are not the same as the left. I'm not the same as the right. I just want freedom. Just leave me the fuck alone. But to sit there and say that we have commonality with groups of people that want to murder the unborn, that want transgenderism in our children, no, there must be a separation. There has to be. You cannot play. What fellowship has light with darkness? This is pure evil we are dealing with here, ladies and gentlemen. This is not the same as, okay, we have some differences economically. Okay, that's fine. Okay, Democrats, they want everybody to pay their fair share. Republicans, you want to slash taxes. I get that. That's not something that we would go to war over. I really don't. Well, hold on. I got to take a step back on that one. But that's not something that I think in today's day and age that we would sit there and say, well, we have no fellowships. Okay, we can have some consensus on both sides. But when it comes to the children, no, I'm sorry. Absolutely not. There is no leeway. I do not think any child should have access to hormone blockers. I do not agree with murdering the unborn. And then when it comes to gun confiscation and things such as this, again, you have Biden. All they're doing is using these buzzwords. We need action now. Chuck Schumer's already talking about trying to force a gun control vote. And we already know what's going to happen. They're going to try and pass it through Congress. States will sue. They'll win because constitutionally it's protected. The Supreme Court will rule in their favor. We are just circling down the drain is all we're doing. And it's just every single politician out there trying to stand on their platform to secure more votes, to gaslight and energize their own voter base by telling them the words they want to hear. But at root of all of this, we are not addressing the actual causation of a lot of these issues, which is mental health. We have an insane society, which I think a good majority of it is attributed to social media. Let's look at the individual homes here for a second, ladies and gentlemen. What are we allowing our kids to consume? Who are the heroes that our children are looking up to? Where are they gaining their morality from? Their sense of direction? Their sense of right and wrong? Are they getting it from watching the Kardashians? Are you sitting in front of the reality TV and just letting that raise your children? Are we sitting there just, trying to baby and coddle our children? This is what happens. We are a society that has been so coddled over these last, 10, 20 years now. This is what happens. And yes, it was a transgender shooter. Why is that not being made a major on? If it's a white shooter, oh my God, it's instantly white supremacy. It's Nazism. It's a GOP person, even though the Buffalo shooter comes out and has a communist manifesto. Mm-hmm. But the press isn't going to cover that. How much of the press is actually covering the trans issue here? And again, I'm not saying this to blame trans people. Please don't take me that way. But I'm simply saying that if you're going to have coverage over these shootings and things such as this, regardless of what the reasoning before, it's all abhorrent, it's all wrong, then you better accurately apply the same hypocritical standard that you have towards white people. But the shooter's name is what? What was it? It was Salvatore, something like that? It was a Hispanic name. Ramos. Okay. And now look, I'm not faulting the Spanish or Latin. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is that you better give this the same accurate hypocritical coverage that you give towards white people, because apparently we're the biggest threat in America.
Yeah, I think first thing is you can't rely on the MSM for any type of substance on something like this. I mean, you really got to, I think, take some time back, and not start hammering this thing. Yeah. These parents, what they're going through right now.
I can't even. Yeah.
It's not. I mean,
Jesus Christ, I can't.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
So to try, come up with answers and solutions right now.
Yeah. Well, no, they're going, and that's why I didn't really want to talk about this. I didn't really want to post about it, but the conversations are there. They have to be had. And unfortunately, you know who's not really getting a lot of coverage that I feel should be? The Border Patrol agent that went there and killed that piece of shit.
Yeah.
And that's another thing to push towards Democrats. It was a good guy with a gun that stopped a bad guy with a gun who both legally obtained those firearms. Yeah. When are you not going to learn, or when are you going to learn this?
I mean, really the only thing that's going to solve, or not even solve, but help mitigate these situations is having police at schools, having a presence.
Which I had that growing up too. Yeah. We had cops at the school.
Yeah. I mean, that should be part of the.
But you want to defund the police?
Yeah. You want to defund the police. I mean, I'd imagine there'd be some teachers out there that would welcome
the teachers
being able to come in there with a weapon.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
100%.
They go through a background check, all that stuff. They go through gun safety training. I mean, why not?
This is what people fail to understand, is that America has over 360 million guns in this country. We will never fully disarm. It's never going to happen. That is a pipe dream. So when Democrats are out there preaching this idea that if we ban the AR-15, it's going to go away, you are sadly mistaken. I mean, last I checked, we banned fentanyl, right? That's pouring over the border. Biden hasn't made any attempt at stopping this. Yeah. What do you think is going to happen with AR-15s in the black market coming up through Mexico? You think they don't do gun running up through there? Are you serious? Oh, damn right they do. All you're doing is empowering the black market, and it will come flooding in. People will get their hands on it.
Oh, yeah.
They will get their hands on it regardless of what you say.
Yeah.
But the fact is, this piece of shit legally got his hands on these AR-15s. So what's their next thing? Ban them. Or we raise the shooting age to 21. No, because that doesn't change anything. You just wait till you're 21 to perform the action. All you're doing is furthering the time between the events. That's all you're doing. But instead of having accurate solutions to these things, which falls on the American society, which we don't want to take accountability for, instead, we have this one mass shooter. We have a few mass shootings, don't get me wrong, it's disgusting either way. But we got 350 million guns in America. If we had a gun problem, again, you'd know it. But hey, this is the thing I love about the hypocritical left, or just in general for the MSM as well. You know, you want to talk about like Uvalde, Texas, and AR-15s and stuff like that. Oh my God, it's horrible. It is, don't get me wrong. But you're quiet in New York, you're quiet in Chicago, you're quiet in Detroit, you're quiet in LA. There's more murders that happen in a weekend than there's one shooting, and you say nothing. Again, this is all optics. It's not really about the guns. It's about the optics that this provides these politicians to get up there and tell you the words that you want to hear to energize you to vote for them. It makes sense to me that if, like, you know, hey, we have more people dying from this, you know, from fentanyl than gun violence, why are we not addressing the fentanyl issue? Well, no, we can't, because that involves the border and it's been politicized so much. Biden cannot make any concessions because if he does, the DNC will view him as weak. And in the meantime, the gun issue, that becomes the focal point. Still to this day, I challenge any Democrat to go look this up. What gun is used in most gun-related homicides? It's not the rifle. It's not the AR-15. It's pistols. It's handguns. They're more easily concealed. And a lot of these idiots out there, like, I'm just waiting for The View to come out there with their expertise on this. It's like, you have an AR-15. Don't get me wrong. It's a magazine-fed 30-round mag, or if you get your hands on a 100-round mag, it's dangerous.
Yeah.
But a 9mm or a 45, it's even more dangerous when you know how to use it correctly. Now, again, you don't have the you don't have the capacity of rounds, because like an 8 to 15 round stack per mag if it's a single or double stack mag. But even still, if I drill you with a 45 or a 223, that 45 is going to blow a hole in you. And these are the guns that are utilized in a lot of these inner city shootings. But we're not going to talk about that, because it's not about prioritization of what's actually killing most Americans. It's all about optics and basically hyperbole towards being anti-2A.
You know, you have a lot of people, I'd say more of a mental health issue, because if you look back just at these psychopaths that drove their cars into crowds, you have it in Wisconsin, San Diego, Portland, Times Square, Austin. I mean, that's an issue, right?
Yeah.
Let's ban the cars. I mean, if you're going out to a festival and it's in the middle of a city and they're shutting it down, you got to worry about some psychopath running his car into a crowd of people.
When I told this story before, when I was getting my concealed handgun, that's what I love about Texas. You don't have to do that anymore. You don't even need a concealed license. Now you can just carry and conceal. The more guns you have on the streets for training, here's the thing: having and owning a firearm is a responsibility, just like having and owning a vehicle. You should know how to operate that thing effectively and safely. Now, it's upon every gun owner to do the same. But the more trained gun owners you have on the streets, the safer it's going to be.
Yeah.
An armed society is a polite society. This has been proven. And then
absolutely.
Biden gets up there with his lecturing. They don't have this issue in other countries. You're right. They don't have this issue in Australia. But look what happened to Australia during the COVID lockdowns. They put them in fucking camps. You look at the UK. You're right. They don't have this issue, but they have a knife. They have all these other issues. It's like you're sitting there you're squeegeeing water away from this direction, and it just goes a completely different direction, but it's still an issue. Like plugging this leak creates a leak over here. People are still going to find the tools to conduct or carry out their perverted, just what it is that they want to do. There's no changing that. But I am glad the police or the state or the border, and again, apparently this border patrol officer, who, by the way, the Biden administration just completely freaking disarmed fiscally, demonized them, treated them like shit. But I didn't hear him say a word. I didn't hear Biden say a word of praise to this officer. Why not? Oh, well, that means that we actually got to give praise to Border Patrol. That means that those carrying a badge that are doing the right things, we may have had them wrong. If that Border Patrol, from the information that I'm gathering from what I've been reading, is that he went in without backup. He didn't even wait. Broward County, how does that make you feel, you bunch of fucking cowards?
I know.
How does that make you feel for that one piece of shit sheriff? This guy went in there, and apparently he was wounded. He's okay. But he went in there and he killed this piece of shit. A good guy with a gun stopping a bad piece of shit with a gun. Again, both obtained legally. So again, Democrats are going to further down on this talking point, ban AR-15s, yada, yada, yada. Then that kid just goes out there and gets his hands on a pistol or gets his hands on a knife, whatever the case may be. And if you think he probably couldn't get his hands on an AR-15, you are sadly mistaken. It's really not that hard. And David Hogg, universal background. We've already got them, stupid. We've already got them.
Somebody shut that douchebag's mouth.
I want to say what I really want to say, and I can't because I'll get banned, but I'm just telling you, it's,
I mean, that kid's a total
He's a piece of shit.
Douchebag.
Yeah. You use these fallen classmates to just stand on this gun grabbing things. Like, dude, shut the hell up. Shut the hell up. You're a kid. You don't know dick. It's just so annoying. But yeah, the Steve Kerr, emotional plea for gun reform as Texas school shooting. What gun reform? Like, what are you talking about? Give me examples. Yeah. Background checks. You got them. I'm against them, but you've got them.
Yeah. What's
next? A felon can't own a firearm? That's already in place.
Okay.
What else? What else do you want? Can't carry near a school? That's already in place. What else do you want? This is what liberals don't seem to understand. You essentially want to ban all weapons. And then what? Put yourself at the mercy of the government? Put yourself at the mercy of robbers who will not obey the law, and now they're armed and you're not? No, thank you.
Hard pass.
Absolutely not. I'm pretty sure if you're a parent and you've got children living in your house and you actually abide by the law and you give up your guns and that robber comes in with a gun, what are you going to do? You're going to call the cops? That ain't going to stop shit.
Nope.
Now, for being a law-abiding citizen and disarming yourself, you put yourself at the mercy of somebody that actually is disobeying the law and has the gun. You're fucked. What now? But the problem is that Democrats will continue doubling down on this shouldn't be happening. You're right, it should not be happening. But it does happen, and it's disgusting. It's morally reprehensible. I don't agree. I think it's horrible. But you tell me how to fix this. In a realistic manner, tell me how to fix this. It's just like every issue that we have out there, it's the wrong people being blamed. And, here's the thing on Twitter. I see some of my friends that I've debated with in the past saying, Republicans don't give a shit about school shit. Like, dude, if you were in my face, I'd break your fucking nose. How dare you? How dare you say Republicans don't care about children? Like, if you really want to go down that road, you're sitting there, you're promoting murdering of the unborn. You really? Really? That's the stance that you want to take? Like, you give a shit about the children after they've been pooped out of the vagina. That's all you care about. But before that, they're not even really children, right? Okay. Makes sense if you don't think about it. This Stephen Kerr idiot makes an emotional plea for gun reform after and this is the same guy 2 years ago. The same guy 2 years ago that pushed for the removal of cops in schools. And what happens? What happens? You get your way, and then what happens? And I got to address this really quick because apparently this is the bro vet thing to push now, and it's been for a while. Hey, John, What if we get involved and start hiring veterans to guard schools? No. How about you hire the most qualified person to guard that school? Your title of veteran doesn't mean dick all to me. And as a veteran, you should know better. Because by virtue of you being a veteran, that makes you what? Good at what exactly? Oh, well, now we actually have to think in a detailed manner. Shoot, don't shoot scenarios, active building clearance, knowing how to utilize that weapon, being an expert marksman with a sidearm and a rifle. But you don't think about that. The bro vets don't think about this, or the civilians out there, you don't think about this. No, I don't give a shit if you're a veteran or not. I do want people guarding those schools, but I want the most qualified people guarding those schools. Mm-hmm. If they so happen to be a veteran that can handle it, that's excellent, wonderful. But just because somebody's a veteran, they could have been a cook. They could have been a mechanic. And I'm not knocking these jobs. And even in infantry. I was in the infantry. I'm not trained on school shootings. I'm not. I was trained on room clearance. Could be kind of the same thing. But you ask any SWAT officer, and I'm pretty sure it's like, John, you don't know dick. And he's probably right. I mean, I'm not going to sit there and say by virtue of my service in Iraq and Afghanistan, I know how to go clear a school or how to deal with this. I'm sure there are so many intricate details that are involved in that these SWAT teams and stuff like that train on. Now, I'm not saying I couldn't do it. Clearly, the Border Patrol agent did it. But the fact is, if we have somebody guarding that school, they should be, and here's where the catch is, by merit of their actions and qualifications, that should be the person doing it, not based upon their previous profession, their sexuality, or the color of their skin. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? I hope it does. We've got to clear this shit up because the bro vet community is to shut the fuck up. This one dude's in my DMs, hey, John, we should get veteran. No, you should shut the fuck up because already you're on the wrong foot. You don't know what you're talking about. And these other people, John, you should start a movement. No, you should. Don't slide into my DMs. Don't tweet me out. Don't comment on my shit and expect me to step up. I'm doing what I can. If you feel so passionately, stop going to these influencers and fucking do it yourself. Because all that really tells me is you're too scared to take the first step and you want somebody else to do the work for you. If you feel that strongly, go fucking do it. If not, shut the fuck up. I hate that shit. The first thing out of their mouth, John, you should, let me stop you right there. You should shut the fuck up and stay in your goddamn lane. John, as far as I'm concerned, I am doing what I feel I should be doing. Now, if you feel strongly towards something, stay out of my fucking DMs. Don't comment on my shit. That shit annoys the fuck out of me. You should shut the fuck up. And I know you have good intent, but you're lazy. That's what it is. You're fucking lazy, and you don't want to actually have to do it yourself. Texas school shooting. Who were the victims killed at Uvalde Elementary School? This is coming to us from Fox News. Identities of the Uvalde, Texas elementary school shooting victims begin to emerge. In the hours after a lone gunman killed 19, and again, this was posted today at 9:27 a.m. In the hours after a lone gunman killed 19 children and 2 adults. Now, I don't know if this is correct or not. It could have changed, but just take that into account. At a Texas elementary school on Tuesday, the victims have begun to be identified. While some families made desperate pleas online to help find their missing children, other families mourn the loss of loved ones following the massacre at Robb Elementary School in the town of Uvalde, a 7-square-mile community located about 85 miles west of San Antonio. Some names of those killed began to emerge by nightfall on Tuesday, many accompanied by photos of smiling children. This is difficult to just read. I know. Eva Morales, 44, was a 4th grade teacher at the elementary school. Morales was remembered as a mother and a wife with an adventurous spirit. That's such a damn shame. She was adventurous. I would definitely say those wonderful things about her. She's definitely going to be very missed, said 34-year-old relative Amber Ybarra of San Antonio. And then we're looking at the faces. I can't look at this. I can't look at this. This is just one of those things. It's like
I know, man. That's why I think it's just like it's better to let this stuff settle.
Yeah.
Let these people mourn. Let them mourn their family, their loss.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing that anybody's going to say right now that's going to snap them out of whatever fog they're in right now from this horrific tragedy. I mean, that guy, such scumbags.
It's disgusting. Who is the Texas school shooter? This is what we know. His name is Salvador Ramos, opened fire at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas. And I swear to God, I see any comment in there in my fucking chat or whatever that says you shouldn't say their name, you shut the fuck up. I run this goddamn show, not you. So I say whatever the fuck I want to say. And if you don't like that, you don't have to listen. Authorities identified Salvador Ramos as the shooter who opened fire in Robb Elementary in Uvalde, Texas on Tuesday. The 18-year-old shot and killed at least 19 students and 2 teachers, Fox News confirmed. Texas Governor Greg Abbott identified Ramos as the shooter and said the Uvalde local entered the school grounds and proceeded to open fire. Abbott also said the shooter is dead and believed to have acted alone. Uvalde Mayor Don McLaughlin told Fox News that during the shooting, Ramos became barricaded inside the elementary school. An agent with the Border Patrol Tactical Unit, BORTAC, is believed to have shot and killed a suspected gunman. 2 officers were shot and wounded on scene, but were expected to survive. Ramos allegedly posted disturbing images online before the shooting, and I've actually seen these images. I looked it up yesterday. He was posting pictures of magazines, and it's just, I don't know. It sucks. It's a picture of him. An Instagram account allegedly connected to Ramos featured disturbing photos, including one showing a high-capacity magazine. The Instagram account has since been taken down. These are the photos that I saw as well. Looks like he's got a PMag, a polymag, 30 rounds. The same account allegedly sent alarming messages to a woman before the deadly attack. The first message sent on May 12 said, or asked, "You gonna repost my gun pics?" The woman was tagged in photos showing guns. The woman continued to message the account allegedly connected to Ramos, even though she said she did not know him. In one message, she described the exchange as scary. She then continued, "I barely know you and you tagged me in a picture with some guns." The account sent a final message to the woman on Tuesday morning, and it said, "I'ma air it out." I'm spelling that I-M-A, then the word air out. I'ma air out. Yeah, you can repost my gun pics. What? Question mark. What your guns got to do with me? Just wanted to tag you. I'm so confused. Following the attack, the woman posted that she did not know the alleged shooter and she does not live in Texas. She said she only corresponded with the account because she was afraid. She then expressed sympathy for the victims and their families. Tuesday's shooting marked the deadliest shooting at an elementary school since Sandy Hook in 2012, where then 20-year-old Adam Lanza shot and killed 26 people at the Newtown, Connecticut school. 20 of the victims were children aged 6 and 7. It also occurred 10 days after the mass shooting at Top Supermarket in Buffalo, New York, that claimed 10 lives. Also, Buffalo, New York, another state where it is very difficult to get your hands on a firearm. So clearly the laws didn't work. Mm-hmm. Why is it that we continuously say we need more laws when those same laws that are already applied and in effect do not work? This is all Democrats want to do. Compound more laws, more laws, more laws. The laws are not working. Maybe we should instead look at something different. Look at it from a different angle. And I know Democrats don't want to do that. I know you don't want to do that because you then have to concede that potentially guns can also save lives. You don't want to admit that. So instead, you would rather then discover or potentially try a different method that could potentially save lives, that we know will save lives, that have been proven to save lives. You would instead double down on trying to strip away the Second Amendment and the fundamental right to protect yourself to prove your political point. That's how disgusting and corrupted these politicians are. This is the problem that we face. Let's get more laws. More laws ain't cutting it. More laws will never cut it. And of course, I called this Matthew McConaughey. Apparently it was his hometown. Matthew McConaughey is trying so hard to walk the, and that's why I'm saying when everybody's like, oh, if he runs for governor, I'm going to vote. It's like, I want to hear his politics. By him being an actor and a Texan does not make me want to vote for him. It's like, what's your politics? Well, Matthew McConaughey puts out this really good feel-good statement that basically means nothing. He says, as you are all aware, there was another mass shooting today, this time in my hometown of Uvalde, Texas. Once again, we have tragically proven that we are failing to be responsible for the rights our freedoms grant us. The true call to action now is for every American to take a longer and deeper look in the mirror and ask ourselves, what is it that we truly value? How do we repair the problem? What small sacrifices can we individually take today to preserve a healthier and safer nation, state, and neighborhood tomorrow? Okay, what do you mean? What are you talking about, dude? Stop being generic. Stop generalizing. Give me specifics, so at least we know where you stand politically. I mean, if you care so much to comment on this, pick a side. Because this generic bullshit like this solves nothing. It's like, oh, that sounds so good. Okay, practical application, you can't. We cannot exhale once again, make excuses, and accept these tragic realities as status quo. You're right. We've already explored the leftist idea of putting more laws into place. Why don't we try something else for once? And then you got, oh God, what's his name? That fat actor, Rob Reiner. says that the blood of these children is on the hands of the GOP. Oh my God. How dare you? How dare you? I cannot fathom.
I want to know why people would publish that stuff anyway. Even though he says it, he could say that and not have those thoughts and whatever. But for some,
Breitbart published it because they wanted to showcase how insane the left is. And I get the point. I get it. But it's like, yeah, why would you say something like that to begin with?
Yeah, I don't even know that I would just mention it. Obviously, we know that they're psychopaths.
Yeah.
And they have no moral values.
Yeah.
Right? So why even entertain it?
I agree.
Move on to more pressing issues.
And I know the topic of conversation in a lot of circles is going to be, is 18 years old enough to own a firearm? And the answer to that is yes, it is. If we are old enough to serve in the military, if we're old enough to go overseas, if those same people that, these politicians want to send to Ukraine are old enough to carry a firearm, then what's the difference between them and civilians that are 18 years old? An adult is an adult is an adult. That's all there is to it. You treat them like an adult.
Mm-hmm.
Raising the drinking and smoking age, does that stop anything? No, you're still going to have drunk drivers. They're just going to be 21 years old or older.
I know you still have kids that are under
They're still
18
doing
years
it,
old
yeah.
smoking.
They're still smoking. They're still drinking.
Smoking pot. God knows what else right now.
As Americans, Texans, mothers, and fathers, it's time we reevaluate and renegotiate our wants from our needs. We have to rearrange our values and find a common ground above this devastating American reality that has tragically become our children's issue. As long as this continues, there will be no common ground. The right should never secede the Second Amendment. It should never happen.
Mm-mm.
I'm sorry, but there is nothing that we can have common ground on. Because it's not just about this mass shooting. It's about the potential of what else could befall this country as a result of giving up the Second Amendment. You look at Ukraine. What do they start doing when their country's invaded? Handing out AK-47s to people that have never even touched one. They have no idea what to do with it. Is that the time that you really want to start saying, oh, here's some guns? No, absolutely not. You look at Australia. You look at England. You can go to jail for memeing. Are you serious? Absolutely not. It's the Second Amendment that prevented these camps from popping up in America for quarantine and shit like that. It's the Second Amendment that prevents a lot of things from going down in this country. We're looking at these tyrants that are wanting to, use this draconian tactic to suppress people that disagree with them on the left. It's the guns that keep us safe. It's not the police. So, by and large, don't get me wrong. Police do their job. I get it. It's guns. And look, I'm sitting here saying, I wish there was an alternative. I do. I wish we lived in this utopian society where we don't need guns. I'd be willing to give up my guns if the world suddenly said, hey, if all guns are gone, there's no more violence. If this utopia existed, I'd be okay with that. But that also rules out the human concept of murder, greed, lust. It is not possible. Therefore, guns have become a necessity. They always will be. I'd be all for it. But I also know that's a pipe dream. That's not realistic. That is not pragmatic thinking. We cannot think that way, but Democrats do. Hey, if we ban it, the problem will go away. No, it doesn't. Mm-hmm. No, it does not. You've got your universal background check. This piece of shit still got his hands on an AR-15.
Yeah.
That didn't change anything. That didn't stop anything.
Even that Parkland shooting.
Even the Parkland shooting.
That kid had the FBI called on him how many times?
FBI didn't do shit.
3, 4, 5 times.
Oh, it was like, they said 22. It was like 20-something times.
Yeah, had the FBI called on him about his erratic behavior and shit that he said. And still,
But instead, we'll have the FBI look at these parents of these school boards and investigate that. Yeah, absolutely. Matthew McConaughey needs to shut up. Texas shooting suspect purchases two rifles legally. Multiple news outlets and a Texas state senator are reporting that Robb Elementary School shooting suspect Salvador purchased 2 rifles legally. Yahoo notes that Texas state senator Roland Gutierrez told CNN Ramos purchased 2 assault rifles on his 18th birthday. Los Angeles Times legal affairs columnist Harry Littman pointed out the shooter bought the assault rifles from an FFL on his recent 18th birthday. The Houston Chronicle observed that the Robb Elementary School shooting suspect legally purchased 2 rifles in the days following his 18th birthday, authorities said. The Chronicle added the officials said they recovered the 2 AR-15 style rifles from the scene at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde. Breitbart News reported that Governor Greg Abbott gave an early afternoon press conference Tuesday in which he indicated Ramos entered into the Robb Elementary School in Uvalde with a handgun, and then he may have also had a rifle. On May 16, 2022, a column in New York Times asked the question, what do most mass shooters have in common? The New York Times then answers its own question by explaining the common tie among most mass shooters that they bought their guns legally. That included a handgun. So if they got it legally, the only option for Democrats at that point is you ban all guns. That's not even on the table. Mm-hmm. And mark my words, Chuck Schumer and the rest of these types out there, mark my words, this will happen. If they try and come after the Second Amendment and ban it, there will be war. There will be war. It will be state versus state, or it could be state versus federal. I don't know. But people will not, I will know, absolutely not. You tell me I have to turn in my firearms, and I think then legitimately from my cold dead fingers. Not going to happen. That means I now have to put trust in the state and federal government to protect me? Absolutely not.
Yeah, hard pass.
You couldn't even protect us from COVID.
Yeah, I think we all learned our lesson there.
Mm-hmm. If, by and large, people all over this country, much less this world, have not learned that these corrupted governments and political talking heads do not have your best interest at heart and they cannot protect you, if you've still not learned that lesson, then you deserve everything that comes your way when you put yourself in their safety, or you put your safety in their hands. That's your fault. What is it, Bush? Warhawk Bush is like, we got the saying in Texas. You might have it somewhere else. Fool me once, shame on you. You fool me twice. You ain't gonna fool me again. Dick's got a gun. This is where we're at. This is where we're at. And Stephen Kerr out there freaking Gavin Newsom pushes gun control before details of Texas school shooting are even known. This just tells you what these celebrities are really truly gunning for, no pun intended. It's the removal of the Second Amendment, because they know by and large they feel like Democrats want guns banned. California Governor Gavin Newsom responded to reports of a school shooting in Uvalde, Texas on Tuesday by pushing for more gun control before details about the shooting were even known. So again, if Democrats are like wanting to address this problem, before you address the problem, you should probably have all the details about said problem. No, if you don't, you're going to make it an accurate assessment.
Yeah, that's not going to.
That's what they do.
This is going to be their talking point going into the midterms.
100%.
Okay, obviously the trans thing isn't working for them.
Nope.
Nobody's on board with that.
Inflation. Don't talk about that.
Gas prices. They have nothing to run on. So this is going to be their golden calf.
And then you wonder,
that they cling to running into there.
It's kind of like, and that's why I feel like all these people out there talking about red flags. What did Alex Jones call Sandy Hook? Staged events and shit. Which that's not what I'm saying. But you can kind of I can almost see why people are piecing together. It's like, oh, midterms are coming up. Yeah. Look for shit like this to happen because Democrats got nothing. But I'm not saying that's. I honestly don't believe that's what happened, though. I think it's just a crazy piece of shit.
No, I'm not saying that's what happened either.
But Democrats are going to run with this for a midterm talking point. Absolutely.
They're the party that never lets a tragedy go to waste.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen it with hurricanes, with the Chinese virus, any shooting. Yeah. The only thing that we don't see is when
it works.
A Democrat runs his car into a crowd of people, and then you just never hear about it.
Or a Democrat shoots up an entire school. Or a communist does the same thing, but he's white, so they go with the white supremacy narrative instead. Which, again, by and large, I'm not blaming, other people on this. No. But if this is the way you're going to report these quote-unquote facts, then at least have some journalistic integrity, but that's asking way too much from our press because they're all fucking activists. They're not journalists.
At the end of the day, it's the person who's committing the crime who's ultimately responsible. And that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, there might be things that led up to it. Yeah. Obviously, this guy was a psychopath.
I mean, if we can agree, by and large, Democrats, can we at least agree that the person that pulled the trigger is responsible? And if you agree with me on that, then why isn't Alec Baldwin in jail? Uh-oh. Well, it was the armor. It's like, nope, he pulled the trigger.
He did.
And yet he's still walking free. Oh, yeah. And this piece of shit wants to tweet out about, this guy, the balls on this guy are just, oh my gosh. He tweets out, dude, the irony of this. He says,
self-awareness.
Alec Baldwin reacts to airport fight. This is the airport fight that went viral. But he said, people come to work with an expectation of safety. Really, dude? Like, really? Do you not understand what tone deaf means?
No, he does. He's got to be the dumbest person.
This guy's an idiot. These people are idiots.
Walking the earth right now. Yeah. One of the dumbest people. Him and his weird wife who pretended to be from Spain.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she wasn't, was she?
Not even a little bit.
Why did she do that?
I don't know, man. These people are so weird.
Yeah.
Like, their brains are just like...
Probably because she didn't want to be white.
What the hell are they doing?
She's like, I don't want to be white. White just makes me feel guilty. I want to be Spanish.
She did that one interview where she's pretending to search for a word like cucumber. She's like, how you say cucumber? You remember that?
No.
Oh, my God. They're such idiots.
I never saw that one. Gavin Newsom responded to reports of a school shooting in Uvalde, Texas on Tuesday by pushing for more gun control before details about the shooting were even known. Breitbart News noted that 14 students and one teacher were killed when an 18-year-old attacker, and this article was posted yesterday, I believe, so it hasn't been updated yet because that number is not accurate. The shooting suspect allegedly shot his grandmother before entering the school, ABC 13 reported. Newsom responded to the news by tweeting out, 14 children and a teacher dead. Another shooting, and the GOP won't do a damn thing about it. You see, you didn't even get all the facts yet, and you're just instantly, the GOP won't do anything about it. Yes, they are. They're saying, stay the fuck out of our state. Let us handle it. Yeah. Let's put armed guards there. Let's create one single point of entry to the school so you can guard it. And that makes sense to me. Yeah. That makes perfect sense to me. We have to be pragmatic. This is the situation that we are facing. We cannot sit there and say, well, it shouldn't be this way. This is how it is. Yep. So if we want to stop and prevent, innocent people from being murdered, then we need to take action. The action is, let's make it tactically difficult for anyone to enter a school and have that one point of entry guarded by people with guns. Yep. And then guess what? The movie theaters stop, the school shootings stop, the marketplaces stop. Start putting armed people with guns in these areas because, again, it's a simple concept. If you walk into a bank or you walk into a supermarket or a movie theater, you pull out a gun and 10 other people pull out guns in response, you're fucked.
Yeah, obviously you have a death wish.
I can tell you through firsthand experience of my friends, my cop friends that have told me, they work in downtown Dallas, DPD, and they would tell me every single time, John, when you start shooting back, they run. They run. They honestly go in there thinking people will be unarmed, but when you pull on them and you start engage in response, they run.
You can see that in these videos that come up on social media. These guys that go into convenience stores, pull their guns, and the clerk
pulls something else out and they just start running.
Firing,
yeah.
Then they're out.
But if you have nothing to pull down in response, they got you dead to rights.
Yep.
But that requires us to have a little bit of, initiative on our part to actually be trained gun owners. Hey, that's part of America.
Yeah.
If you don't like that, leave this country. That's just a part of who we are. And I understand that people overseas don't like that, but tough shit. That's why freaking we're a superpower and you're not. I don't know what you want me to tell you. Sorry. Go live in France. Go live in Australia. I'm not knocking them. They have great people over there, but fuck that. Absolutely not.
Got a terrible government.
I mean, so do we, but yeah.
I know, but at least we have 1A and 2A.
Yeah, it's true. Another shooting and the GOP won't do a damn thing about it. Who the hell are we if we cannot keep our kids safe? This is preventable. Our inaction is a choice. We need nationwide comprehensive common sense gun safety now. What are you talking about? Have you not looked at LA? Have you not looked at San Diego? Have you not looked at some of your highest, your most popular cities and seen the gun crime there? Who are you, Newsom, to comment about anything related to Texas? If anything, you should take your Californians that are moving here because you fucked your state up so bad and tell them to go the fuck back because we don't want them.
You know what's even more aggravating about that, too, is these douchebags are wanting to give their kids hormone blockers.
I know.
Make kids transgender.
And you're telling me that does not affect their psyche? Are you serious?
What science are they following?
They're not. They pretend to. It's like if we want to start looking at the state of affairs in our country and our society, let's start taking a look at the shit that you enable and you praise. Yeah. You put transgenderism up there as if it's something to be lorded over and be like, oh my God, you're so brave. No, it's not. You have a psychological disorder. Yeah. And if it's not just with that, they're going to do it with other things. Yep. We have to be inclusive. We have to do this. Are you kidding me? Absolutely fucking not. I mean, we should bring back institutions, start committing people, get them the help they need. But we do have a mental health issue in this country, and it's only exacerbated by the Gavin Newsoms and these fucking leftist loony morons out there that you want to sit there and say you're just so woke. When you have a parent that wants to force these hormone blockers on a child, I saw a video yesterday of a father, purple hair, metal all on his fucking face. Do what you want. I'm not knocking that, but it's indicative of your mental state of health. And this guy saying, hey, I need to go fund me so I can afford hormone blockers for my son. Dude, I want to break your fucking neck. You're a piece of shit. Trying to force that on your child? This is manipulation. This is manipulation at its root cause. Now, I'm not saying transgenders are bad people. I'm not. I've had a debate with a few. Empress, when he came on, very nice individual. Really good discussion. But you cannot sit there and tell me there is not a psychological disorder or there's an imbalance. There is. Your brain and your genitalia don't line up. So now we have all these like you want to talk about what's wrong with our country? Let's look at social media and what's been exacerbated on these platforms like TikTok. If you get on political TikTok, be prepared. Like, oh my God, it makes you want to blow your fucking brains out. Listen to these fucking leftist Zoomers on there spouting off their bullshit about shit they know fuck all about. I am tired of being lectured from these fucking kids that don't know shit about life. You make these videos on your phone from the shit that you see on social media. You've got no real world experience and no one in your life to sit there and say, hey, shut the fuck up. You don't know what you're talking about. Instead, you should sit down and listen. That's the problem in America. And I'm all for free speech, but I'm all for people that also utilize their free speech to say, you shut the fuck up because you don't know what you're talking about. But they get on there and your little blue-haired rants and your septum rings and your fucking obesity glorification. It's like the left embraces all the things that kill us and make us psychologically unhinged. And it's not that the right is any better saying, well, women should know their place. I get it. I get that there's a balance there. But fuck me running. You cannot sit there and tell me the left does not have a lot of issues within their party that they promote in regards to transgenderism, in regards to the insanity. Well, my preferred pronouns are, but fuck you and your pronouns. You attention-seeking little weirdos. I'm polyamorous, pansexual, but no, you're a fucking whack job. Let's just call it what it is. You're attention-seeking little whack jobs. But we have to be fair. We've got to be nice. We can't say bad things about it. Make bullying great again. We need that shit. It balances society, and people don't like hearing that. Oh, fat shaming's horrible. Well, it certainly works. How many messages I've gotten over the last 5 or 6 years? John, you're fat shaming around. I lost 100 pounds. Oh, interesting. Interesting how that dude coddling say, oh, it's okay. You can eat that bag of Doritos, you little fat ass. It's okay. Versus, get the fuck up. Go do something, you fat fuck. You look disgusting. Fix yourself. Be blessed. Have a nice day.
Looking good, sugar tits.
Oh, my God. But coddling, that works so well. It does so good. Oh, you think you're a dog? Well, you know what? You just go ahead and be a dog. No. Absolutely not. That's not the way society works. You want to be a dog? Be prepared to get made fun of. You deserve it. You do. You do. But if we want to look at the mental health state in this country, look at what these parties are embracing. I mean, on one hand, you got the turning point theocrats over there saying God should be everything. And you got these influencers espousing God, Christianity, and then I know behind the scenes they're little fucking man whores, which do your thing. I'll just be open and honest and say, I do believe in God. I do believe in Jesus. But yeah, I'm kind of a man whore when it comes to it. I'm trying to get better. I really am. But that's what I can't stand. It's like everybody has this figure they want to put out front, and no one wants to admit to their humanity and their hypocrisy. I guess what? I was talking to a very good friend of mine last night, and she was like, don't judge. And I was like, everybody judges. And she agreed. She wasn't disagreeing. But it's this point that people don't want to have this conversation of saying, you shouldn't judge. We all judge. You should judge. As a parent with children, you should be judging who your child is hanging out with. Oh, yeah. You should be judging who you allow into your life. You should be judging who it is that you want to date, who you want to stick your dick in. You should be. And I'm not saying judging in the context of thinking that you're better than them, but you damn right better have like that spirit of discernment to say, hey, that's probably not a good person. Get away from them. Yeah. Parents should be getting more involved in this shit. Parents need a firm grasp in reality. But we have to admit our humanity. But because apparently on social media, we can't. Have you ever laughed at racist jokes? Fuck yeah, I have. They're funny. Yeah. They're hilarious. The fuck out of here with that bull. You ever laughed at transgender? Fuck yeah, I have. You ever laughed at racist white people? Fuck yes, I have. I still laugh at them. They're fucking hilarious. I don't care if that offends people's, feasible or fucking feeble sensibility. I don't care. But social media has created this idea that we all have to just be altruistic, good human beings and present this facade of perfection. Like, oh my God, I call it toxic positivity.
I told you I watched the Ricky Gervais.
We're getting to it. I love Ricky Gervais. Well, fuck it. Let's get into it. Ricky Gervais apparently is under a lot of fire because, guess what?
I'll tell you.
The LGBTQ cancel mob comes for Ricky. Oh, wow. The community that's so empowered. The community that wants us. Oh, we're equal. We want equal rights. We're going to march. We want the same thing. And then you tell a joke. Oh, my God. I can't take it.
It was so refreshing to hear real comedy again. Yeah. To where there's no governor on the range of jokes that he told.
Fuck yes. And I'm willing to bet.
It was hilarious, man. It was.
I got to watch it. It's on Netflix?
Yeah.
I got to go watch this. I'm surprised Netflix did this.
Yeah.
I'm really surprised.
I'm telling you, it looks like they're turning a corner as far as their wokeness goes. If
We'll
they're
see.
putting out meetings saying, if you don't like the content, then you don't have to work here. Well, that should have been the attitude from the very beginning.
That should have been the attitude from the beginning,
Although
because
I
this
don't agree with
inclusivity is
their,
bullshit. Cuties and stuff
the
like that.
cuties
Yeah.
and shit like that.
Yeah.
I mean,
I agree.
again, nobody has to watch it.
Yeah.
You don't have to watch it. I mean, if there's stuff on there that's, I mean, like Ricky Gervais, I just,
You don't have to watch it.
We'll see where it goes.
Yeah. Well, he's certainly not going to bend the knee.
No.
Like this guy,
He's not,
like,
but no.
it's interesting to see these people. Like Russell Brand is now a major podcaster. Like you would not think someone like Russell Brand, whom I actually really like the guy.
Yeah.
He comes out, he's got some really good podcasts.
Oh, his podcasts are great.
But he also has that nice combination of meditation and love and all, but it also fucking hammers the left. And it's like, I kind of like this.
You know, he goes both sides. I
He
mean,
does.
it's
That's what I
really
do like about him, yeah.
a libertarian point of view, which I can appreciate because,
Yeah.
I mean, I think you want to try to take the best parts of all the ideas
Yeah.
and try to land somewhere
Absolutely.
in the
Absolutely.
middle.
Ricky Gervais comes out there and he says this, and it's just like, damn. Like the LGBTQ cancel mob has taken out its pitchforks for Ricky Gervais, condemning his latest Netflix comedy special as dangerous and the streamer's most transphobic show yet. Really? So jokes are now transphobic? You can't even joke about, oh, you're so empowered. Yeah. Oh, you're so empowered. You're such a mentally weak community that people are fucking laughing at you now. And here's the deal. I hope it gets worse. I hope they fucking make fun of you, because here's the deal. It's going to toughen you the fuck up.
It's not even that much of the show.
No, but that's transgenders in general when it comes to that. I mean, you look at Dave Chappelle's.
Yeah.
You look at Dave Chappelle and how the left lost its mind. Oh my God, this is dangerous. Everything is dangerous. Free speech to them is dangerous. You shouldn't be allowed to make jokes because that could create a mass shooting. Shut the fuck up. You just had a transgender murder fucking children. Are you serious? So then what? By your method of thinking, should we now be leery of all trans people? I'm just throwing that out there. Should then, okay, so if we can't make fun of trans people, you shouldn't be allowed to make white people jokes, because we could have another Buffalo shooting, right? By that logic of thinking, right? That method of thinking, that makes sense to me. Actually, it doesn't. If you're fucking stupid, maybe. Or how about this? There is no group of people or sexuality, ethnicity, or nationality that is above being made fun of. There ain't. And you don't get to regulate that. You don't get to control that. Some are even encouraging viewers to cancel their Netflix subscriptions using the hashtag cancel Netflix. Have fun. Yeah. Ricky Gervais' Supernature debuted Tuesday on the streamer and almost immediately drew attention for its jokes about transgender authoritarianism. And he's 100% right. And the beautiful part about that is he knew they would do this, hence why he did this. Yeah. It just proves the point. Chappelle as well. They literally proved their point. This was brilliant how they basically put this into play. Like it's beautifully done. In the special, the British comedian mocks the woke left insistence that male to female transgenders who still have their penises be called women. He's 100% right. Again, follow the science party does not follow the science whatsoever. You follow the feelings and call it science. Like the worst thing you can say today, get you canceled on Twitter. Death threats, the worst things you can say today is women don't have penises, right? He said. Leading the cancel mob against Gervais is GLAAD, G-L-A-A-D, which threatened the comedian and Netflix in a statement issued today. We watched the Ricky Gervais comedy special on Netflix, so you don't have to. It's full of graphic, dangerous, anti-trans rants masquerading as jokes. Oh, I'm sure they are. Because, you know, your communities are just so great about freaking taking jokes lightly. Please.
I'll tell you, dude, it's so hilarious. I'm going to watch it again tonight.
I'm going to watch it tonight, absolutely.
Papa Delta 8.
It's full of graphic, dangerous, anti-trans rants masquerading as jokes. So again, it can legitimately be a joke, because there's a lot of jokes that are rooted in truth. That's what makes them funny. But to them, and they're interpreted, oh my God, that's transphobic. Okay, let's get this clear. Phobia, phobic, means to denote fear of. No one's afraid of transgenders. Well, I mean, now like people might be because of fucking the bullshit. Yeah, exactly.
Inmate.
Now with like these cancel cultures, like, okay, we can't make fun of the trans. Now they might be afraid. Well, not really. I'm not. I don't give a fuck about you. But you take this joke and it's like, well, that's transphobic. Oh, is it? Well, I feel like for the longest time, white people have been the butt of black people jokes. I mean, let's take this into account. How many times do we see on social media like white people doing something stupid or foolish? And what do people say? White people. Okay, fair enough. Let's do the same thing towards black people. Oh, oh, it's suddenly racist. It's suddenly racist. No, if you want equality, that means you're the butt of jokes as well. And if you can't handle it, tough shit. That's equality. Instead, what these communities are actually bucking for is supremacy and privilege. That's what you want. You don't want to be on the same playing field because it doesn't feel good. You're not empowered. You don't get special attention. But while you're coming up, you're getting all this attention. That's why a lot of these kids, like Bill Maher even said, he made a good point. He talked about that this is the new hip thing to do. It's hip to be trans. It's cool to be trans. Yeah. It's cool to be gay. When in reality, I think a good chunk of these people are not. They just want to be accepted. They want attention, which tells me, why are they not receiving this attention? Who's at fault? Maybe it's because we strayed away from having the nuclear home.
It's probably the same kids that dressed up in goth to be accepted. And then once you reach adulthood, you don't see a whole lot of people, wearing black lipstick and black fingernail polish. And
the Blink 182 crowd kind of goes away a little bit. You still reminisce on the old times.
Yeah. I mean, being a kid, it's, you want to be accepted. You want friends. You want all that stuff. Yeah. That's one of the bigger parts of growing up. So when you find a group that accepts you, I think you tended to take on those.
Absolutely. You want to be accepted. You feel a part of the community. Same in the military.
You hang out with athletes. You want to be, an artist. You hang out with musicians. Yeah. So, but I think with the goth crowd, I feel like you grow out of it after.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I used to hang out with goths in school. I realized it just wasn't part of that community. I tried it. I just didn't look good in black lipstick. No. I think the most I ever did was wear like camo pants and black Converse. And like a black shirt. I was emo or whatever. It's like, little did I know I was a moron. Whatever. You're a kid. You're a high schooler. You don't know what the dude. That's why I'd say when these kids that are in high school, like the David Hoggs and them, want to come out and do these political tangents, like, dude, shut the fuck up. Like, you don't know anything. You really don't. Like, at the times, like, you don't even pay taxes. Shut up.
Yeah.
Not that I'm for taxes, but you get the point there. You gotta love this GLAAD. This GLAAD's a joke. That's so fucking gay. Stop being gay, GLAAD. Bunch of gay people. He also spouts anti-gay rhetoric and spreads inaccurate information about HIV. Okay, it's a joke. So what you're doing is you're taking a comedy special and taking it seriously. You sound like a bunch of gay Karens is what it is. Oh, well, I just don't find that funny. I'm going to speak to your manager. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, you don't have to watch it.
You don't have to watch it.
Dummy.
You just don't want people saying anything bad about you. But again, y'all say a lot of bad things about the GOP. You can do it, but when other people come against you, well, suddenly it's an issue. That's why, and this is another reason why this is why they were so scared on Twitter. You remove this imbalance of terms of services violations and enforcement, and now you've got an equal playing field. You're scared shitless. You don't like that idea. But instead, what you say is like, oh my God, they're going to let in the white supremacists and Nazis. Really? Really? Okay. Whatever you say.
I'd bet for the most part, people who do post those comments, racist comment, Nazi comment, they're probably like high school kids.
They're always fake accounts, exactly.
Who are just trolling to get a response.
Exactly. And you don't know what side of that. Some people are that's the other thing is like when people take these comments so seriously, it's like you're literally taking the comments of a hidden user that could be just doing this to instigate some shit.
Now,
I did post a tweet yesterday on LeBron James' son taking the white girl to prom. And you go look in those comments and you see actual user accounts of black Twitter users being racist as fuck towards a white woman and not a fucking word is said. You don't say a goddamn thing because how dare you? Black people can't be racist. Dude, we read those comments section. Yes, the fuck they can. And in fact, many cases, they are way more racist than white people. Yes, they are.
100% racist.
It's ridiculous, but we can't talk about that because if we do, oh, you must be racist. No, I'm saying racism is bad, but you call it out on both sides. But if you refuse to call out racist black people, well, then what's the point of you even standing there on your podium? Like, why isn't LeBron James condemning this? This is on his post.
It is.
Why aren't you calling this out? Oh, no, we can't do that because black people, they're untouchable. They're perfect. There's no such thing as racist black people. There's no such thing. Okay, what if I took the same approach? Well, there's just no such thing as racist white people. Oh, yes, there are.
There are just people who are racist.
There are just people, exactly. There are just people who are racist.
It doesn't matter what skin color you are.
Exactly.
Okay, there's just going to be white people who don't like certain races. There's going to be black people who don't like certain races.
Yeah.
I mean, That's just how it is. You're not going to change anybody's mind on that
Fuck
shit.
no. If anything, you're gonna create more racism.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, if you're gonna have special privileges, then fuck you and your race. I get it. You're creating more racism, but I think at heart, secretly, that's what they want. I think it's what they want. Because then it might give them...
it goes back to talking points for midterms and that kind of shit.
100%.
We got to get our hands, we got to get a hold of this racism.
The racist Nazis are at it again.
These white racists and Nazis and gun laws and...
Attention, Ricky and Netflix. This glad continues in a 4-part tweet that said, attention, Ricky and Netflix. I love how they feel like they have so much power. You are powerless. You have nothing.
Yeah.
That's the thing about the cancel culture mob. They can't cancel if you don't let them.
Mm-hmm.
If you say, I'm not apologizing, go fuck yourself,
yeah.
They'll be pissed off for a few days. They might threaten a boycott or a protest, but eventually something else happens and all these nut jobs go on to the next thing. That's all it is. Attention, Ricky and Netflix. People living with HIV today, when on effective treatment, led long and healthy lives and cannot transmit HIV to others. He was making a joke. You're taking it seriously. Who's the problem here? Yeah. I had some stupid asshole on Twitter today, and I was like, why were you ripping on Steven Crowder yesterday? He does a good job. That was a joke, you dipshit. It's people like you that are so fucking stupid you can't differentiate the difference, but instead you get your little pixie cut and your little Karen attitude. You're just waiting to jump on something to be offended by. Here's the deal. Why'd you say that? Because it's my show and I'll say whatever the fuck I want. And if you don't like it, I can't tell you what I really want to tell you because I'll get banned. But you get where I'm going. Control-Alt-F4 yourself. How about that? I just don't fucking care.
Boom.
I don't care. People, it's like, what? You intentionally misinterpreted it because, again, you're looking for something to be offended by. You hear somebody that you actually like and your identity is wrapped up in them and you cannot pull yourself away from that. So instead you feel the need to defend them. That's why I see Trumpism. And speaking of Trumpism, Jesus Christ, we'll get back to the Ricky Gervais thing. Dude, Trump, one of the biggest fucking morons that I've seen as of late. Like, this guy actually tweeted this out on Truth Social. Listen to this statement, okay? Because I read this last night right before bed. And I'm like, I'm hoping this isn't real. It's real. Trump said, I never thought, and this is before the shooting, which has nothing to do with the shooting, just by and large, keep that in mind. He said, I never thought in my wildest imagination that the United States would be involved in a nuclear war. Now, however, because of our leaders' rhetoric and very poor choice of words, it is perhaps more likely to happen than not. Shut the fuck up, dude. Are you serious? I get that Trump likes poking the bear. I get that. You're saying that now we are more... what? This is more inflammatory rhetoric that we just don't need. Is Biden incompetent? Fuck yes, he is. Are we going to have a nuclear war? Probably not. That's not true, Trump, and you know that. But instead, you're fear-mongering here. How dare... It's just stupid. Stupid. I get that Trump loves to talk shit, but sometimes shut the fuck up. And he continues. Russia, Ukraine would never have happened under a Trump administration. I agree with you there, but Jesus Christ, dude, pull your own dick out of your mouth for just 1 second. Now there are fewer cards to play, but still very playable. China up next? Question mark. Dude, oh man. Now it's more likely than not for nuclear war? What? Are you just trying to scare the people right now? And the other thing I love is like, you know, because of our leadership rhetoric and very poor choice of words, Trump, you're the last one to talk about. You tweeted out North Korea, Kim Jong-un, little fat man or little rocket man. Like, come on, dude. You are no Edgar Allan Poe yourself. Let's just be honest with this. Now, is Biden stupid and inept? Absolutely. But Trump, you are no one to make the comparison on that. You're really not. You're really not, Kafifi. And here's the thing. I don't hate Trump, but you got to call bullshit when you see it. More likely than not, we're going to have a nuclear war. Whoa, calm down. You sound like a liberal right now at this point. The Nazis are coming. The Nazis are coming. Jesus. It's almost like these people want this. It's like no different than Rob Reiner saying the blood of these kids is on GOP hands. Like, what? What?
Yeah.
We're likely to have a nuclear war. What are you talking? And then here's the other thing I love about this. I went on Truth Social on their Instagram. And I posted it. I was like, are you kidding? But you read the comments on that, and oh my God, the Trump idolatry is through the fucking roof. We need you, Trump, 2020. God sent us Trump. Oh my God, he's a prophet. You're just like, what the fuck? The worship is unreal.
Reel it in.
Unreal.
Got to reel it in there.
My God, and here's the thing. When you have that type of rhetoric that is put out there unchecked, it only exacerbates and encourages it. More likely than not, we're going to have nuclear war. God, I hope not. I hope not. I'm just like, what? Where do you get off?
Who do you think you are?
But instead, people are going to double down on identity politics. Oh, so you're anti-Trump? It has nothing to do with that. It's a stupid statement.
You must not like orange people.
It's a stupid statement. So we're not allowed to condemn that? We instead have to be quiet, just like, oh well, it's a pro-Trump. We can't say anything about it. It's the GOP. You know, we have to suck the GOP dick. Yeah, say more stupid shit. Absolutely. What? Where did this rule come about? Mm-hmm. Where did this rule come about that we have to just nod our heads? Oh yeah, it's GOP. We have to agree. Yeah, no. There's a lot of shit that comes out of the GOP that like once we kind of got woken up, it's like fuck them. Mm-hmm. It's like fuck Democrats. I agree. Fuck Republicans. I agree.
Yeah,
because there's establishments on both sides.
You know, I kind of had my eyes open after a couple election cycles that I really started paying attention to what was going on in the political climate. Yeah. And then you just notice the same trend over and over again. Every single election cycle, they would say the exact same thing.
Yes.
Like, well, they just said this last time. They said they were going to build a border
Everything
wall.
is change. We're going to change.
They're going to lower taxes and all this other stuff, and they never do it.
No.
And then next election cycle, well, we're going to move the embassy to Jerusalem, and
Trump actually, I'll give him that.
Everybody applauds and screams and chants, and then they're like, we're going to do the wall and the next election cycles, and they still haven't done it. Yeah. I mean, it's gone on for decades.
Yep. And here's the thing. I love these comments, like in the Lost Savages chat on Twitch. It's like, well, Trump's not a politician at least. No, you don't get to do that. Mm-hmm. You don't get to make this reference. You take the statement by itself, and then you don't try and justify it. It's like, well, at least this. Like, no, it's a statement. It's stupid. You condemn it for what it is. You don't whataboutism it because that all you're trying to do is give that leniency. Fuck no. If it's a stupid statement, you condemn the statement. Yeah, if Chuck Schumer comes out there and talks about 2A bullshit, you call him out for the bullshit. Stay on topic. Stop deflecting to whataboutisms. Democrats have been doing that since Biden got in office.
Yeah, he is a politician now.
He is a politician. I mean, fuck sakes. How long are you to keep saying he's not? Yes, he is a politician.
He wasn't a politician when he got on the debate stage.
He certainly is now.
After he became a politician, he's a politician.
And then Trump endorses a lot of people. It's kind of like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I mean...
Trump is establishment. Now, here's the thing. If Trump runs in 2025, I'm probably going to vote for him. Oh, yeah. But that does not mean that you keep quiet when they say and do stupid shit. Right. When Trump went after the Second Amendment, NRA was quiet. Turning Point was quiet. Charlie Kirk didn't say a fucking word. Yeah. And then there were people like me saying, wait a minute. No. Yeah. No. This is wrong. Well, we can't say that because that's God King Trump. But hey, at least he's not a politician. What? Do you hear yourselves? Remove yourselves from the idea. That's why I talked about like with Austin Peterson, with Marjorie Taylor Greene. He like hitched himself to her. It's like, you don't have to do this. You do not have to do this. You can keep it separate. My God, Austin Peterson's like my mentor. And I'm sitting there going like, bro, you're going down a very dangerous road. Be careful whose wagon you hitch yourself to because Marjorie Taylor Greene said some stupid shit. Mm-hmm. She continues to sometimes say, and she says some smart shit. But we don't have to, as citizens, wrap our identities around these people we vote for. Mm-hmm. It's okay to say, yep, I probably shouldn't vote, or I disagree with that. That's wrong. Yeah. You do not have to follow blindly any political leader, especially ones you don't. You don't. Where did this law come about? Where did this rule come about that you cannot call out your own? We shouldn't be infighting. Yes, we should be infighting. We should be infighting against the Mitch McConnells. We should be infighting against the freaking Romneys, the McCains, Lindsey the Crenshaws. We should. You need to purge yourself of that type of mentality, or that type of perspectives that don't fall in line with constitutionally sound ideologies. You should. You need that. Because if you don't, you will remain silent and that cancer grows. That cancer grows. But I feel like there's a lot of hypocrisy. There's a lot of hypocrisy. Madison Cawthorn voted in favor of the $40 billion. Where was all the vitriol for him? Where was all the hate for him? I was like, oh no, we can't touch him. He's with the Trump. We're dark MAGA. Shut up, dude.
We're dark MAGA.
Dark MAGA. It's time to bring out dark MAGA and primary all the rhinos. And that's the thing. I called this before. If you don't fall in line with the GOP movement or the idea embraced by the majority of them, suddenly you're a rhino. Oh my God. Here we go with this. You're a rhino. What is a rhino? What does that actually kind of, I know what the acronym stands for, but what is a rhino? I mean, by and large, they should consider me a rhino because I don't agree with a lot of Republican ideas. I just don't. Let's get back to GLAAD.
Yeah, I guess you could see.
Well, actually, no, I'm not a rhino because I'm not a Republican. So yeah, it doesn't apply.
Consider myself, I'm a libertarian.
Yeah, I'm a libertarian that leans right. I had this one person just DM me like a long time ago, and I still remember. It was like, I'm just so glad that you lean right. And it's like, I don't. He's like, wait, what? I was like, have you not listened to the show in a while? It's like, well, I haven't caught. It's like, you probably should. I've kind of changed some stances that I don't agree with anymore on the right. I just don't.
I mean, there's just certain things that I don't know. What is conservatism?
Exactly. And like for me, it's like conservatism falls into the economic spectrum.
Right. Same here. I'm conservatively
economically, and then when it comes to like culturally, live and let live. Yeah. It's freedom for all. So that would get us classified as liberals. It's like, but not really. I think that's just more constitutionally based.
Yeah.
Because I don't believe in transgenderism in children. I don't.
I don't either. And I want my tax dollars going to pay for abortions.
I agree.
Like, and if the state wants to, make laws saying that the heartbeat bill is, 12 weeks?
8
weeks? Uh-huh. I mean, I think that's fair.
I agree.
Honestly. But that one chick at that hearing when the guy was talking about rape and incest victims.
And then she said, if we put that in there, would you vote for it? He's like, I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, he yielded his time back. Okay.
So that's not even a factor on the table. It's just the fact that you just want to murder babies.
Because you're a punk. That's it.
Glad continued in 3 out of the 4 tweets saying Netflix has a policy that content designed to incite hate or violence is not allowed on their platform. This is comedy. It's not designed to do that. Right. It's not Adolf Hitler up there going, it's Ricky Gervais telling some jokes. And the jokes just so happen to target the trans community, which you bring the jokes on yourself. You really do. I don't know what to tell you at that point. But we all know that anti-LGBTQ content does exactly that. While Netflix is home to some groundbreaking LGBTQ shows, it refuses to enforce its own policy in comedy. 3, 4. And you even admit it yourself in comedy. If you take comedy seriously, that's your first mistake. But you go ahead and get triggered. I really don't care. The LGBT community and all our allies have made it very clear that so-called comedians who spew hate in place of humor and the media companies who give them a platform will be held accountable. Oh, fucking bring it. Bring it. You're going to hold us accountable? What are you going to do? Let's do it. Let's do it. You want to hold? What are you going to do? You got guns? No, you don't. What are you going to do? You going to boycott? Who gives a fuck? You wouldn't have purchased anyway. Nobody gives a fuck about you and your rainbow bullshit.
I know. You're going to turn off social media?
Oh, good. Please get off social media.
Stop
watching Netflix. Do it. Stop watching Netflix. We don't give a fuck.
Okay.
Who gives a shit? And y'all say the same thing about us. It's like, well, we're not going to do it. Well, nobody gives a. Got news for you. It goes double for you. The LGBT community and our allies have made it very clear. That almost sounds like a list of demands.
It does.
Like a terroristic threat.
I don't think they're a good face for the gay community.
Absolutely not.
I just
GLAAD. What does GLAAD even stand for? Probably something gay related. Fucking sheesh. Oh my God. And then Pink News. Oh, I'm sure this is like a good media source right here. It says Ricky Gervais' new Netflix special is nothing more than an anti-trans garbage fire. Really? Well, then I guess we're all anti-trans because we thought it was fucking hilarious. Maybe you trans people better wake up and start understanding the more you fucking support organizations like this, the more enemies you're going to make. So you really be very careful with who you fucking throw your lot behind, because I'm telling you right now, these people will get you made fun of, and justifiably so. You know how you deal with shit like this? You ignore it. You ignore it. It's funny jokes. And here's another thing that I love. Tosh.0. I went and saw him this weekend with a buddy of mine, two buddies of mine. He told the most racist fucking jokes. And the crowd, it's the Dallas crowd. We have a lot of freaking minorities in this community. And there's a shitload of minorities in that theater. And he's telling black jokes, Hispanic jokes, white jokes, Republican jokes, liberal. And nobody gave a fuck. Everyone applauded, because it definitely was an indicator to me. Society, by and large, wants this back because it's funny. Making fun of the things that are different in each community is what brings us together. But instead of seeking out like equality in the sense of like supremacy or privilege, that's not what needs to happen. Mm-hmm. It's not.
You know, Ricky Gervais, I don't want to give any spoilers up, but he does a pretty good job of talking about comedy is comedy. Mm-hmm. It's a joke. It's not literal.
Yeah.
You know, when you bring these topics up, he just does a really good job. I would encourage everybody to go and
I'm definitely going to go watch it tonight. I'm going to watch it tonight for sure.
Because it's really good.
And this is what they don't understand. It's like, look, the trans community, all you're doing realistically is just getting more people against you. It's like, wow, those GLAAD people, fuck them. Pink News, fuck them. I'm going to double down.
I know.
That's all you're doing.
You're going to help Netflix out.
You're going to help Netflix out, which again, But if Netflix does stick to their guns about if you don't like it, you don't have to work here. Yeah. That's the way it should be.
That's how it should be.
That's the way it should be. If we had somebody in our office here, it's like, well, I just don't like John's politics. Well, then you can leave.
Yeah.
I'm not changing my politics simply to appease. Like, I don't give a fuck if we were like a 1,000-man corporation. If you don't like my views, leave. I don't give a fuck. But you certainly love taking my money. Yeah, you love me paying you, don't you?
As long as you're contributing to the team.
Yeah.
And
we have people that work for us that don't agree with us politically, and that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
And I don't force my views on them, and they're certainly not going to do that, vice versa. But the fact still remains like, well, I just don't agree with John's anti-abortion stance. Well, then you can fucking leave. And guess what? I will find someone to replace you. It's just that simple. Yeah. There's other people out there looking for a job. If you're so headstrong and bent on not working for a corporation that you don't politically agree with, you don't have to. Mm-hmm. But I will find somebody to replace you and probably pay them less. Oh my God. No, all the socialists got pissed off. The Independent said Ricky Gervais' super nature deals in cheap jokes and humiliating trans people review. Oh my God. I love how they spin it. They're humiliating us. They're making fun of us. Don't say that. Well, I mean, what do you expect? Like, you have dudes pretending to be women and women pretending to be dudes. I'm sorry. Yes, you are the butt of a lot of jokes. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, when you're saying a man can get pregnant and have a period.
Or a birthing person or chest feeding. Fuck you, whack jobs.
I'm not playing that game.
And you want to sit there and wonder why we have these fucking active shooters when you have bullshit like this that just perverts society. You stray so far from the path of common fucking sense because essentially in your mind's eye, you want to be able to just say that, hey, I can be a horse and actually be a horse and then demand society accept that. No, you live in reality. Mm-hmm. Welcome to reality. Go fuck yourself. Yeah. You're not special. Go somewhere else, whack job.
If you think you're a horse and you need to go to a vet, the vet's going to be like,
oh, we got to put him down. We got to put him down. Maybe we should do that. Like these trans species, like, oh, take him to the vet. It's like, I'm sorry, we got to put him down. This dog can talk. That's got to be cancer. We should put him down.
Oh, man.
Aaron Reed. We got to love this. So on the same month that we've seen anti-trans legislation, the anti-trans legislation is that you can't touch kids. Oh, that's anti-trans? No, that's anti-grooming, anti-pedophile. That's protecting children. You call it anti-trans. I call you a fucking nut job.
Total scumbags.
Investigated for child abuse and don't say gay trans bill. It's funny how you morons out there, you leave out the fact, don't say gay. It also says don't say straight. It basically, in the verbiage of it, it says nothing sexualized. Mm-hmm. Paraphrasing. Doesn't say gay. There isn't one thing in there about that, but you've never read the bill. No. So you stupid little Twitter morons go out there and you're tweeting all this bullshit. You're making your little weird TikToks like, don't say gay. Have you read the bill? There's this one girl who's like in college. I saw her on TikTok and she comes off very eloquent, very articulate. So people naturally get the impression she's smart. Mm-hmm. And then she's talking about it's the don't say gay bill. And so she responded to somebody's comment. It's not in there. She goes, it literally is. And then highlights the part. And it doesn't say it. It's like, did you not read what you just highlighted, you dumb bitch? Huh. You probably didn't. Because you're fucking stupid. You're a child. You haven't even graduated college. You don't know shit about fuck. I don't even know why people listen to you. Honestly, if I'm an adult listening to a child, I should question my experiences in my life and what I've been to, that you're literally taking this shit from a child.
She sounds like she'd be a perfect candidate for the
press secretary. Truth. Yeah, that too.
Ministry of Truth.
Ministry of Truth, absolutely.
It is in there. Look, I'm pointing at it right here.
Yeah, it's right there. Yeah.
Look, you're not looking.
Every single time I go on a profile and I see like their graduation date that's coming up, it's like I automatically don't want to hear what you have to say. I know that's generalized thinking. I get it. But by and large, when I see those types of nut jobs on my posts and stuff, and it's like, what the fuck? And you read their comments, like, then you look on the profile because it's like, the reason that you look at their profile, it's the same reason, like if you get cut off in traffic, the first thing you do is when you pull up beside that person, you want to look to confirm a bias that already exists. It could be like a Jewish, Chinese, black person. It's like, oh, that fucking figures. It's like, wait, that doesn't even make sense. But you get where I'm going. So you click on the profile, it's like, oh no, you look as stupid as the comment you just made. That makes perfect sense. But every time, like 9 times out of 10, it's some fucking Zoomer that has a graduating 2023. Shut your fucking mouth. Until you pay taxes, you don't get an opinion. Not in my sphere. I don't want to hear from you. You don't know anything. In honor of Ricky Gervais and his 241 rant on trans people and cancel culture, I'm in fact canceling. Thanks, Netflix. Trans rights are human rights. Oh, cool hashtag, Big Red. Let's look at his profile. Let's click on this. Let's see if this guy's stupid as... Oh, look at there. Look at this nut job. Look at him. They just look. And then he's got like the middle finger in all different colors to include the LGBT. No wonder. Ginger bear, thespian, cat dad, board and video game gamer. And it says gamers, G-A-Y-M-E-R. Anti-racist, anti-turf, fantasy reader, D&D. Oh, man. He just really gives the nerd group a very bad vibe. Like that, I like a lot of that stuff, but it's like, Jesus, dude. Again, look at this profile right here by and large. That is identity and sexuality, meaning you're a fucking loser. You are a loser.
Yeah.
Heterosexual, white, cis male, gamer, straight, blah, 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 blah. Like, you know why white people don't do this? Because we don't fucking care, or straight people. Yeah. Nobody gives a shit about your sexuality. You're not special. You like dick. Nobody fucking cares. Good for you. Hashtag freaking trans rights or human rights. What trans rights or human? What rights were violated in a comedy special, you thin-skinned nut jobs? What rights were violated? They shouldn't be allowed to talk bad about me. I'm take my trans ball, go home. This is why they make fun of you, and justifiably so. And the beatings will continue until morale improves. Fuck yes.
Tuck your weenie and go home.
Go home with your bullshit. Jesus. Oh, my God. Ricky Gervais has a new stand-up show out on Netflix today. 5 minutes in, and he's making jokes about trans women attacking and raping people in public bathrooms. To him, we exist only as a punchline, a threat, something less than human.
Oh, my God, dude. It was so funny.
Really? Yeah, you kind of do, because you're whack job now.
Oh, it was so funny.
Ricky Gervais knows it's easier to be transphobic than to be funny. Bigot comedy is dead easy to perform. You just confirm the hatred of the audience, and then you get to go home. No jokes required. Really? So if you make fun of racists for stereotypes, that makes you just a hater? Like, shut the fuck up.
The audience was... They were laughing.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
And these people don't like hearing that. It's like, oh, by and large, people think you are fucking funny.
Because, when you go see Ricky Gervais' stand-up, you know it's going to be very edgy. And
I knew that about Tosh going into it, because I knew.
You better have that thing where you don't care what the guy's saying.
Exactly.
Because he goes to religion. He's an atheist.
Yeah.
So he talks about Christianity.
Tosh did the same thing.
It was all funny. I mean, I'm a Christian, but I think what he was saying was funny.
Oh, yeah.
And then he does his little shtick about the AIDS.
I'm gonna watch this. I'm gonna watch this today.
I mean, it's funny.
Yeah,
it was very well done.
But this is
He's
why
just a funny guy in general.
This is why trans and the LGB and all this other ridiculousness on the left, they want to kill comedy. That's why shit isn't funny anymore. That's why SNL has been funny for a very long time. You destroy comedy. The one thing, and here's the thing, the one thing that could probably or potentially unify America is comedy.
Yeah,
we should be able. It really is. When you kill that, my God, like. I sincerely wonder, these people that are tweeting this, I would love just for 24 hours to follow you around and see how pathetically miserable your life is. Well, I can't listen to that. That just offends me. Oh, this offends me.
I would almost guarantee that they're complete hypocrites.
I think so,
and
too.
they do all this shit themselves to other people.
Oh, absolutely.
Judge people, look down at them. If you're not trans, if you're not a part of our group, and look down at them, look how he's dressed, look how she's dressed. I'm sure that shit goes down all the time.
Human nature doesn't change based on sexuality.
If you follow them around and, if you're hung up on your identity, then you're obviously going to be looking at other people, judging them.
Yeah, this is where we're at. This is what we do. You got to love it. I'm going to watch that. That makes me want to watch it now. Good job, trans. You just got them another customer. I really don't give a fuck.
Sign up for like 1 month and just see what you think.
Oh, yeah. Gavin Newsom, this guy. All right, woke police reforms. The same party that wanted to cancel, defund the police. The same party that said we don't need police in schools. Well, man, y'all are shifting your narrative come 2020 or midterms in 2024. Yeah. Suddenly it's like, oh, let's fund the police. Let's bring the police back. It's like, you can't even hire them now. They don't want to work in your cities because it's shit. You hamstrung them. They're like, no, it's not worth it.
It'd be the worst place to be a police officer in California.
Yes. Oh, God, yeah.
Then, you have zero support from the government.
You fuck up, you're on your own.
Yep.
Or not even a fuck up. You get involved in some altercation, even if it's justified, you're on your own.
Yeah.
It's not worth it. I'm sorry, but protecting the populace versus me spending my life in jail because I had to draw down on a piece of shit crackhead.
Yeah.
No. And especially if like race is an issue and politics are an issue, and now I'm at the mercy of the public court of opinion. No, thank you.
I wouldn't want to have a business over there.
Fuck no.
You see these surveillance videos.
That's the reason why there's
walking in and stealing shit, walking into Best Buy,
cops just standing there watching them do it. They can't chase. They can't do anything. So the storefront manager can't own a gun, and they come in and they start like, okay, then
what are you going to do?
It's just mind-boggling to me. I don't
honestly,
understand.
I don't know how these businesses or just that state in general is going to survive if you keep having companies move out. I mean, losing Tesla, that's a big one, right? Well, I mean,
by and large, I was just watching a video that talked about these blue states are losing on average 1 million people per year.
Yeah,
they're moving to red states.
It's a lot.
And people are kind of talking about how they come into these red states and then vote blue. It's not true.
No,
it's not true. Because I was like, that doesn't make sense.
Right.
Yeah. It's like, hey, I just set this house on fire. I'm going to move to another one. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to set it on fire too. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Really doesn't. And then a lot of people in California, a lot of my friends was like, I can't afford to move. Like, I mean, you probably could because you sell your house. You're paying a shitload. You come to Texas, you can buy something even better, way cheaper. It's true.
Yeah.
Woke police reforms to make all cops sit through Black history lessons. Oh, my fuck. UK police force reforms are to force cops to sit through lessons on Black history and anti-racism as officials push to get more officers to identify as woke. Woke is the enemy. It's not just the tamer. They're the enemy. You go woke, you're the enemy of the American people. Policing in the UK is apparently not ready or not already progressive enough, with British officials publishing an action plan on Tuesday, which will see officers across England and Wales face mandatory lectures on the likes of Black history and anti-racism in hopes it will lower racial disparities affecting those of African descent. No, what you're hoping is that you're going to be more lenient on the Black community because you don't want the bitching as much for the shit that they're creating. Sorry, it's the truth.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess now I'm racist. Can't say anything based in truth. Can't do that. It makes you a racist. I want to read this article. Well, some good news coming out. Sarah Huckabee Sanders wins Arkansas Republican primary for governor. Mike Huckabee's daughter, she used to be the press secretary under Trump, who, God bless her, she went through a lot of shit, that woman, yeah. But she's apparently secured the nomination. And then you've got Trump took a L on this one. Stacey Abrams is now officially going to face off against Kemp. Brian Kemp, I believe, did not secure Trump's endorsement, but he just won the primary.
Yeah, it was Purdue was Trump's pick. So
Didn't make it.
I'm kind of surprised that people went back with Kemp because that,
yeah,
I don't know, I'm a little bit surprised. But, you know, the people of Georgia.
We're going to see how it plays out.
If it was a legitimate election.
I don't feel like this election coming up. I think if Stacey, like, you just look at her face and just, oh my God, she's so hideous.
Oh my, she
just
terrible.
Rooted in insanity and probably so much like racism deep down in there. But Stacey Abrams officially wins Democrat primary race for governor. How many times do you have to lose before you like take a hint? But I'm telling you, watch this election. I guarantee there's going to be some rigged shit going on. I'm telling you.
Done a lot of election reform over there.
Georgia has, yes, and she was fighting that. Yeah. So it's kind of like, so you're telling me if there is so much suppression of minority votes, then why are you running again? If you know you don't have a chance, and it's racist, yeah.
That's a bullshit statement just on its face, because you could look at the numbers and see that they've had record number turnouts for this election, this primary. So obviously that's not true.
Yeah. That's where we're at.
That's where we are.
I'm interested to see how this plays out. I'm telling you, the closer we get to 2022, the more racism, the more gun control, more and more. You can see the playbook. Yeah, trans. Hey, double down on it. By all means, double down, because all you're doing is inspiring these mothers, these mama lions. Yeah. When you go after the children, you already saw what happened in Virginia. We saw what almost happened in New Jersey, a primarily blue state. It almost flipped. Okay, double down on it. Go ahead. See how that works in the long run. So. Well, before I forget, these are the states that we have now opened up Delta 8 shipping to on behalf of Shell Shock CBD. I forgot to read it yesterday, but the new states that we are now shipping to, that we are reopening shipments from Delta 8 products to, are Arizona, Arkansas, California, Connecticut, Kentucky, Mississippi, and Michigan. Again, that list is Arizona, Arkansas, California, Connecticut, Kentucky, Mississippi, and Michigan. We now ship Delta 8 to those states. Don't forget, 38% off starting tonight at midnight for 24 hours for my 38th birthday, passing those savings along to you. So we really appreciate y'all that are supporting Shell Shock CBD. And also, don't forget, if you are a subscriber on Shell Shock CBD, you get access to, say, for example, the 3 tea bundle, to where if you buy the first hemp tea, it's 5% off. Buy the second tea, it's 10% off. And you buy the third one, it's 15% off. And you also get this amazing Shell Shock mug. We've got that going down. And again, 38% off with code BIRTHDAY for 24 hours only. The code is BIRTHDAY to be used. Don't forget, code BIRTHDAY is what's going to get you that 38% off. The products include the Rack Out Gummies, the Delta 9, the Delta 8 Halo, Dark Matter, Rocket Fuel, all CBD bomb drops from Full Spectrum, Broad Spectrum, and Isolate, and the Fallout Gummies. So if you need to stock up, now is the time. Now here's the deal. If you're curious about trying some of these products for your sleep, for whatever, now's the time to do it. Get it at a 38% discount product. Try it out and see for yourself. Guys, I don't lie about these products. You can go on our social media. You can go into our private Facebook group. You can go on our Instagram. You can see the reviews that we get. If we were a bullshit company, I feel like we'd be getting called out a lot more than a lot of these other companies that are just selling you snake oil. So go check that out. Again, The THC products, the THC-free products, you have a personal guarantee. They are tested. We know for a fact there is no THC in them. So if you're worried about popping hot on a drug test by taking the THC-free Sleepy Time Rack Out gummies, worry not. We have so many people already on it. I have a lot of veterans on it. I have a lot of military. We have FBI. We even have congressmen and women on this.
Yeah, and we have COAs for all of our products, too.
Certificate of analysis on all these things to prove what's in that product. And again, if we lied on that, we get sued.
Yeah, show you guys what's in it. These are all organic products. Homegrown here in the United States.
And don't forget to sign up on the All American Savage Show website. It's allamericansavageshow.com. You can email the show. We're gonna see how we do this Friday for Confess Your Sins to Father Burke, the first episode of the series of Confess Your Sins. Write in your sins, your secrets. It's gonna remain completely anonymous. I read the email. We don't even see who it's from, and then we just trash. It's just a comedy special kind of thing. Is all we're really doing, just to spice it up. Get some spice out there, so.
Pepper in some racist jokes, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, why not? It's funny. I don't give a fuck. It's funny. Also, we got some great news. The podcast is now expanded to the Podbean app, so you can hear us on Podbean. My God, we're pretty much we're not on Pandora yet. We're waiting approval. We're not on Google Podcasts yet, but everywhere else, the podcast, the show is now there. Just look up All American Savage Show. We pop up. So also, you can follow us on SoundCloud on the Podbean app. We're there. Hey, every time you hit that share button and you tag us or you tell your friends about us, you help us grow the audience. We really appreciate that. And thanks for all the Twitch subscribers over on Twitch with the Lost Savages. Really appreciate all your love in the YouTube crowd. You guys are fucking amazing. So, until tomorrow, you got anything to add?
Love you guys.
As always, you stay savage, America.